Great news, everybody, and a happy Friday, or TGIF Friday, or it's Friday. That's right. I'm really excited. I hope you are too. We've got great news in the chat. Mindy Wick became a member. Welcome, and thank you for being here. Welcome to Rewards Club, along with Koma Goen, who's also now a Rewards Club member. Thank you both for joining. I appreciate it. Joining of your own free will instead of having the glorious gifties thrust upon you by like the great people that are in the chat, like Tony Piacente. How about that? A lot of people are doing something that I think is really important. And I really have to say I appreciate it so very much. Look at this. Born in Boston says, I'm going to gift you a membership. Born in Boston also said that they canceled Netflix too. I think a lot of people are doing this. I think we're seeing it like across the plains. And the only thing I'm going to miss, there's like 2 shows on there I'm going to miss. Like Blacklist is one of them, because the first few years of that show were pretty good. And I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, there's like some shows on there that might catch my interest once in a while, but for the most part, I don't need it. And thank you, Born in Boston, for being here. Oh, my goodness, you actually gifted 5 CultureCasino memberships. My goodness, I am remiss. Thank you so very much. The generosity is flowing today. Flowing. We got 10. We got 12 members so far. We are ramping up. Again, we're targeting 1,000 members on the channel. I think we can get there. We got 3 more weeks. I think we can get there. That'll be amazing. You guys are phenomenal. I'm very excited. Look, there's all kinds of news. There's all kinds of things to talk about. All kinds of places to go. And I have to tell you, as far as the what do you call it? Goodness, I'm gonna have to change the format of the screen. As far as I can tell, I'm never gonna run out of news. Do you guys think I should make the thank you for your attention to this matter podcast 5 days a week? Do you think I should do it that often? Kind of like I do the 6-minute daily, only obviously more consistently, a longer news oriented stream, news and politics. Do you think I should do that? That'd be pretty wild. Pretty wild. You guys think that? I'm going to let you guys answer that question while we get into the generosity of others like this one from our good friend Lightning Sketch Production for 5 Culture Casino cash, saying it is better to return. Hang on. Is it better to return to cable TV than continue using streaming? You know, outside of YouTube, look, that's a judgment call by you. If you find value in some of the cable stuff, I get it, you know. But, I mean, what else is there? Kind of your only 2 options unless you go linear. You might just go to linear and like just use platforms like YouTube. I don't know, but 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whatever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6-minute daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in, but we definitely have, well, bonus time today for sure. I want to talk with you about some interesting issues that have abound. But let's get started with this story. This story is magical. You see, The Ultimate Queer Love was canceled at Netflix. Netflix has been getting a lot of guff lately, primarily because of one man we're going to talk about in just a second. But when you take a look at just how many shows involve various theming that isn't shared by the vast majority, you realize that Netflix has an inordinate amount and percentage of shows that are available to everybody that maybe bring about these conditions. And I honestly don't care about that part. What I care about is if kids are watching this stuff. Because a lot of shows, and this wasn't one of them, but a lot of shows are pushing ideologies. And I don't care. I mean, again, Elon Musk's particular focus is on the woke bias, which I totally agree with, and on kids shows with LGBTQ plus characters. Now, again, you can have all the LGBTQ plus characters you want on an adult show. You just can't be aiming for kids. There's a social contagion factor that is involved in all of this, and a lot of people are blaming that on people identifying much differently than they find out they are years later. We're going to have to start talking about this openly and plainly, and hopefully we don't get censored because we do so, because that would be bad, right? I mean, right now media trust is at a brand new low, all-time low. And again, I pay attention to this. You guys know that about once a quarter I'm talking about media trust has collapsed, and of course it has. Of course it has. There, in this particular story, seeing one detail gets overlooked. Yeah, that most of these people are lying to you. That's the detail. You got Sean Combs in the news again. Last-ditch effort to stay out of prison, which I get. I mean, he's saying the old me died in jail. No, you didn't. The new version of me was reborn. I don't believe that at all. I think you are a gangster. You were always wanting to be a gangster. You've always been a gangster. And I think there's a lot of stuff we didn't get to because we had a Comey running this trial. I don't trust him at all. We got HBO Max going to be ending CNN 24/7 live stream ahead of the new solo streamer launch, which means you are going to have a harder time finding neo-Marxism. I mean, if you go looking for it anyway. You know Bad Bunny is coming to the Super Bowl, but he's also coming to Saturday Night Live and new promos for season 51. I think ICE is going to be keenly interested in this. I would be. Just me. We got Wall Street doing really well. The records this week, wrapping the week with those records. And yesterday were more records. It's just records abounding. You got stocks cruising toward the finish, record-setting week again. You know, there's a little bit of down here and there, but here's a change. You notice that the AP isn't trying to tinge this one, take the patina off of, because I think if we keep pointing out just how biased their headlines and reporting is, maybe they'll be forced to change, because it's hard to be a legitimate news wire if you lie all the time. Trump administration is going to cut nearly $8 billion in clean energy projects in states that back terrorists. That's okay. That's a yellow journalism headline, because it just means blue states. Doesn't matter if they back terrorists or not. In fact, it has nothing to do with it. It's just getting rid of dumb projects along with situations with people. We're going to talk about that too in a moment. But $2.1 billion in infrastructure projects in Chicago. Every place that's got a lot of leverage when it comes to the shutdowns for the benefit of very few people, and $1.5 billion in trying to beat back the big beautiful bill. That's not going to work, and this shutdown is going to go 3 weeks or longer. The hopes are fading for a short one, of course. Again, you know what the line is, and you crossed it. You got FDA approving another generic abortion pill. That seems to be upsetting some people in the political sphere. We've got the Eiffel Tower closing. Nationwide strikes are happening across France. They don't like the cuts there either, based on the uncontrolled invasion of people from other countries. It's been happening there forever. Supreme Court's going to consider overturning Hawaii's strict ban on guns, which again is illegal and unconstitutional. You got a massive fire erupting at a Chevron refinery just south of Los Angeles. Outside of Los Angeles, let me be more accurate. Flames visible for miles, and you know what? That makes it easier for, let's say, Chevron to move their headquarters, maybe faster. Instead of stretching over 5 years, perhaps it happens, now. And finally, we have residents in a Massachusetts town warn after bear attacks a goat and tries to get into a chicken coop. You're going to see more and more of this as we head towards winter. This is when they're eating about 10,000 to 12,000 calories a day. So, yeah. And finally, you know what? We'll get into that in bonus time. I got a story from our friends over at That Park Place that I really want you to get into. But look, the message of the day, Elon keeps winning despite all the negative pub that the legacy media has been throwing at him. That's kind of it. We got super chats, we got thank yous, we got all kinds of stuff out there that I will get to as we get to bonus time. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and I hope you join us again today, tomorrow morning, for the Saturday News Update. That's right. And I look forward to that as well. I think we also have the member stream tomorrow. I don't think we. I think we did the high rollers last weekend, so this will be all of our members. If you are a member of any stripe, any tier, or even a member in spirit, you can become a member of the Culture Casino channel at the rewards level, which is less than a cup of coffee, and or you can open yourself up to gifties from the amazingly generous folks that we have here, including Tony Piacente and Born in Boston. And for those of you who joined of your own free will, thank you. It means the world to me. All right, let's get into some supers, and then we will get into some bonus time. And I can't say enough great things about all of you, including this great person right here, SFXF 314 Sabertooth Raptor, who's here with 5 Culture Casino cash in donation, tip, whatever you want to call it. I just say super chat. And all we are is frogs in the wind. All we are is frogs in the wind. Yeah, a frog under a leaf. Oh, I don't know. It's too easy to get stepped on. I don't think a leaf. I think you want to hide in a log, a hollow log, if you're a frog. Just me. Just me. Thank you for that, my friend. L, good morning. And to the rest of you, I really wish I had more time, but 6 minutes is 6 minutes. And if you're here early, I get a chance to say hi. Like to Penny here. Penny, Randall Orser, and our favorite polar bear, Snortopoopas Cube. We got OC Dobbins in the house. We got our wonderful friend Griffin Zoo and Cat Slave. Don't overextend yourself, CC. But then again, you're kind of my replacement of choice now that Nick Ricada has vanished from the internet. Yeah, I don't know what Nick's doing. I mean, I knew what he was doing. I knew he got in some trouble. It's a real shame. He's a good guy. Kind of enjoy him. Hey, what's up? Crazy white boy. There you go. There's 57 channels and nothing on. Real quickie from JPRPH1 for $3.99. We get a super duper stick out with a cup of coffee. I'm going to need that. It was a short night for me. Short night. But I thank you for the $4 cup of coffee. I love coffee. Jill has her kingly powers or wrenchly powers or whatever you want to call them. She's been knighted on the green machine. So there's that. Juliet is in the house from the UK. By the way, people of the UK, this is a little extra news. I was going to drop a clip on, probably will on the thank you for your attention to this matter of the podcast. People in the UK woke up to things on their phones they hadn't installed. You have to go through an inordinate amount of steps to keep Apple and your government from installing things on your phone that you don't want. There's a lot of extra steps, and it's garbage, purely. So keep your eye out on your phone for the digital ID that they're forcing upon you. That app is on your phone, whether you want it or not. And if you're in the UK and you want no part of this digital ID thing and you want it to fall apart in a couple of months or less, get rid of it. Oh, by the way, it's not just on iPhones. It's also over on Androids as well. So you're going to have to do some work. And you're going to have to block your store from automatically installing things. So keep that in mind. We have so many great people in the chat. I'm loving this. Mr. Fulton Mraz is in the house. Awesome. Says, morning today is me and my girlfriend, Caitlin. We are celebrating that's so good. I love anniversaries. 11th anniversary celebration this weekend. Well, happy anniversary. I just know that's just so wonderful. When you have enough of a connection with a person to last that long, you've already beaten out that 7-year itch and all that. There's one of them is called the snore. I think it's 4 is the snore or the bore. I don't know. But you beat both of those things. So congratulations. And I hope you have an extraordinary day and a wonderful weekend. Celebrate away because you absolutely 100% deserve it. Hey, Culture, if you do run out of news, just talk about gardening. Oh, I will. Oh, by the way, Walter Tomaszewski checked in. It looks like garlic season in Washington is going to be awesome. So I'm totally psyched for you. Razorbird, our favorite Razorhead, is in the house. Good to see you. We got William. What's up, William Shakespeare? I'm loving it. Look at all these great names of great people. Zen Wookie is here. Hell Friday, that's right. We got Bruce. What's up? New house, Bruce says do a 6 minutes with a style like Christina Aguayo, but with topics here. Oh, I could probably do that. Probably could. You have to remember back in the day, the 6 minute daily was usually only about 6 or 8, 10 stories when I first started. Because I wanted to give them due, and I wanted to do more sophisticated analysis than the headlines. The problem is that when I did so few, um, I would oftentimes focus too long on each one, and setting a set number, something like 17, always works because I get to end with the best thing, which is the bear story. I think everybody here would agree, but and because of that, I kind of have a good pace going when I'm doing that kind of fixed number of stories, and I limit it to the most important part of whatever it is we're talking about. Elon just keeps winning after attacking Netflix. Netflix stock is dropping like a rock. If you take a look at the stock numbers, they have not had a good run since Elon went full ham on them. So that's bad. Anyway, we got into the super chat from our good friend Tony Piacente. Thank you, Tony. Says the only reason I'm going back to cable is it will be included in my condo fees. Well, there you go. When I move next month. Well, congratulations. What's really odd is my one of my sets of parents, because I'm the product of a divided household that both remarried. That's a long story we can talk about in the future. But one of my sets of parents, they don't pay for cable. Their whole neighborhood gets it for free, and it's like the extended, the mid-level cable, not the premium stuff, but they have to pay for any pay channels or stuff. It's wild. Plus, their internet, I believe, is like either discounted or free. It's crazy stuff. Oh, and by the way, it looks like I may be getting enormous upgrade in internet speed because of a competitive fiber company in the area. So I'm very excited about that. Georgia Peach says that the COOF exposed their bias. That's possible. I think we were already seeing it before. You have to remember going back into like 2008, I was already seeing like a deterioration in interest in myself. Well, not in myself, but in comic books. So my pull list like shrank. And then my interest in film and television fell apart. And then by the time 2015 rolls around, I was pretty much resigned to the fact that media is changing drastically and not for the better. So we get to 2019, 2020, and I knew things were a mess, especially since, well, we had a global issue that was created by an interesting circumstance, let's say. I have no interest in being the next Alex Jones, folks. So, what else is going on? Well, we got great people out here. We got Hampton this morning. I've been missing you, Hampton. Good morning to you. And we've got uh we've got so many people out there. It's insane. It's insane. Let's see. Look at all these great people. I'm so blessed. Tobach is here. I saw a third quarter 2024 graphic that showed funding by both parties to organizations. Netflix was at 44 million, 100% Democrat. I already knew that. Just look at the financial powerhouses that are behind them and the people that they support. I mean, they went all in on the Obamas. What does that tell you? Pretty obvious. Yeah, keep it real when it comes to Coombs, Puffy, P. Diddy. Sean. When it comes to that guy, yeah, he doesn't understand. You know, uh, there's no journey without the suffering. It just doesn't work. Bad Bunny gonna wear a dress again? Probably, probably. I don't know. Look, I mean, he's got the legs for it. Oh, I'm bad. I'm a bad, bad man. I'm a bad, bad man. Do, 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 do. Look at all these great humans. You guys are so patient waiting for the super chats. We got woke to news. There's a fire. Yeah, at California refinery now. Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying. And again, I just wanted to remind everybody, Chevron's leaving California, moving their headquarters and operations stuff there. Pretty soon, I don't think you're going to be able to get gas in California. I think maybe then the people in the state of California will be like, yeah, this government's bad, terrible, awful. You can only drive things so far into the ground. Um, I mean, Gavin Newsom started in San Francisco. That was the beginning of the end for California, especially when he decided, well, the folks in California decided that he was going to be a governor. You're going to see the same thing happen in New York City. And let me tell you, the governor of New York is going to be hard pressed to prevent that crap from creeping across the state. That'll be terrible. Instaphobos, I'm going to have to think about this a little bit because you have to remember that Musk had a child uh, get into an identity crisis, let's say. But I'll take a look at that. I'm not going to dismiss that out of hand if it's a grift. I don't know. I mean, Warner Brothers could be bought by anybody. Apple has just as much a shot at picking them up. Dean, I know there is so much violence in European countries right now. Everybody's trying to make us out to be the worst. No, folks in the Netherlands are suffering. Folks in Norway. If these governments don't try to stop the New World Order, if they go along with it, if they just keep taking their money that's being stashed away for them, um, uh, there's going to be some very bad things. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man in the house. Good to see you, buddy. And there is the beautiful Depot. Look at all these great people. I can't believe if I missed you, it wasn't on purpose, guys. Lightning Sketch back at it with another gifty, a little $5 super chat for yours truly. Says Iger's contract is up next December. Perhaps it's more time for a better leader to step up. So you are spot on. And this is why I love Lightning Sketch Productions. It's just, constant pulse. It's got his fingers on the pulse of what's going on at Disney. And I think you're right. I think in order to successfully succeed, to have a successful successor, they're going to have to go from outside and they're going to have to go from somebody who is conservative because aligning yourself politically so far to one side, you're losing everybody else on the other side. And by the way, the other side's the one that have families. And the only way to get people to be liberal now is indoctrination, which means if you send them to school, hopefully it's a private school and one that has a good solid base, or you homeschool, and that's becoming more and more of an option for families, especially traditional ones. So be seeing more and more of that. Let's see. Ba-ba-ba. Cynthia, good morning, dear. I think I said hi to you, but I just wanted to say I hope your day is wonderful. And I hope Jill's day is wonderful too. She got new responsibilities. She asked for it, she got it. And it's not a Toyota. What's up, Cat Slave? Says the comic book industry shot itself in the foot. I agree. In the 80s. Well, that's probably true. And when they took comics out of the stores, and people had to seek out specialty stores to get the comics. Yeah, yeah. Again, I was a kid that would ride to my local 7-Eleven, which is about a half a mile from the, well, not even, probably about a quarter mile from the house. Maybe it's a mile from. I don't know. I was young and I was riding a BMX bicycle a long way. So for a kid, it's a long drive, a long ride. And to get my 3-pack of comics. That's because that's how I was collecting comics. Hey, C&D Designs is in the house. Good to see you. But yeah, yeah, I think you're probably right, Cynthia. I think you're probably right. Weatherman go boom with a 2 Culture Casino memberships over on the Green Machine. We appreciate those very muchly, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, just a Dutchie. That would be nice, but I don't think that will happen. I think we're going to see some stuff happen, but I don't think with Disney, man, just give me the job. Do you know how fast I could turn that company around? And you know what? I would point out to everybody that the companies that are pulling out stock wise, because it would happen if I had control. They'd pull the money out. I'd be like, hey, pull your money out. Go for it. I'm going to embarrass you. Because Disney is so compromised by the institutional investment. If you just look at the percentages of ownership and how much they own, you know for a fact that Larry Fink is leading the pack into Disney's destruction, along with you know, oh, everybody. Vanguard is awful. State Street is awful. Blackstone is extra awful because they're the ones that are taking the houses out of circulation that you could afford, which is just gross behavior. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to JPRPH1 once again for a super sticker, which was coffee, which I needed. Izzo's Place has been here for 3 months. Thanks for being here, says sup, dog. Sup. Sup. We got Coma Goen, who's been here for 3 months. I guess that was a renewal, saying, Happy Friday, legends. Well, a happy Friday to you, my friend. Much appreciated. I've gone back in time and added a thumbs up to everybody. I want to say a special shout out and thank you to my good friend, Rod Thunderheart. Why? Well, because he's been here for 33 months. And he says, Hail, Culture Casino, I'm still alive and will be around. Good. I miss you, man. That's the thing. I don't forget. I always think about you. I always say thank you. And again, thank you to Izzo's Place, 3 months. Sub dog. John Lawson out there. Good to see you. Lots of great people in the chat. I am so blessed by the amazing, the wonderful, the incredible. Yeah. And Archer Merchant drops another super duper chat for let's see, 5 Culture Casino Cash says, also the rumors of Rey Skywalker kid trilogy remind me of the meme clip. Stop it. It's dead already. Yeah, no kidding. I think you're right, though. Look, also consider this. This is going to be weird. Oh, Starfighter definitely is compromised. But they just keep making the same errors. Oh, they'll like this one. No. They're going to like this message. No. Oh, they just want cadres of lesbian witches and everything. No. No. It's so weird. Witches are okay, voodoo bad. Disney, you're stupid. Anyway. JB Spooky Review says, UK men better grow some huevos soon. Yeah. Let's see who else is out there. Boog! You're being monitored, and the data said when you use Roku. That's good to know, Boog, because I use Roku constantly. And what are they going to monitor exactly on me? I mean, I don't buy anything. I don't do anything on Roku. I don't know what they'd monitor. Like if I'm using my Roku 90%, 95% of the time, it's going to be on YouTube. If they want the same data that YouTube's getting, I think they probably can buy it themselves. But I believe you, and I thank you. I love that we keep each other informed on what's going on. That's another thing. I love you guys. You are legendary people in this fellowship. You are. Speaking of legendary Lightning Sketch Productions for $5 more said, would a movie that teams up Mickey Mouse and Roger Rabbit work? Yeah. And you have to remember, they only let Mickey be used for a handful of frames in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I'm like, this is how dumb Disney was since even back then. But at least it was dumb for a reason back then. Now it's dumb. I think Morgan and Morgan, and if you guys hadn't heard, there's a controversy, a lawsuit against Morgan and Morgan because they wanted clarity. We're going to put Steamboat Willie on a billboard, which they can. But then there's a conversation about, well, since they use Mickey as a trademark, okay, but they only use a statue silhouette as Mickey as a trademark. I think and we need this fight. We need the decision made. So that's what I think of that, my friend. I think that you're going to start seeing variations of Mickey that are within the public sphere, which again started with Steamboat Willie. I guess next will be Plain Crazy. I think so. So yeah. We got Zen Wookie in the house, says, I'll be married 31 years on the 15th. So I've dealt with the 70-year itch 4 times. Yes, you have. So true. Yeah, you get there at 28 years. I don't know. It's a lot of itchy. Walter, of course. Like I said, fellow gardeners, we must stick together. I just love doing it. And Crazy White Boy says, dude needs to take Caitlin to Sherry's Slam and Clam. You guys are on fire today. Thank you so much. I do want to talk about, I have a Disney story. Well, I mean, I have a Disney related story. I have more on the Elon story. That's what I have. I also have this from the incredibly generous William Shakespeare for 5. I'm loving this name. Whoever you are, you're a genius. Happy Friday, culture. I've been up 20 hours. Time for my beauty sleep. I'm less than 460 years old. You kids don't even know. Life is worth living. Go do it. Incredible sentiment. Thank you, William Shakespeare. I love it. Oh, you guys are killing it today. You are. Come on, going with that message. Happy Friday, legends. That's in my head. It's in my head, zombie. Okay, that's gonna be stuck in my head for a while. Gory-eyed beast for 2 Canadian says, CC, what would you do in Iger's chair day 1 of work? Fire almost everybody. HR, you're frigging gone. All of HR is gone. Anybody that's in Story Matters is gone. Any of the woke garbage is immediately gone. We are going back to company standards like 88. We're going to pretend it's 1988. And we are going to push back to that level and start again. We're going to bring ticket prices back down. We're going to restore the perks. And we are not artificially going to pretend to make money on people's backs as our attendance drags into the ground. We're immediately going to stop work on Frontierland. I mean, I wouldn't even, you guys, the first day would be devastating to the message because Frontierland would just get a rebuild, an add-on, an upgrade substantially. We would develop the other areas of the land that we can north of the park into this stupid dirt track thing, which I don't think is a value. and we would take the backstage area that was going to be used for conveyance to and from the Star Wars hotel, and instead of that dumb, we're going to immediately start on the transit attraction, the Bantha, the walking Bantha ride that you would get to give that area of the park, which is devoid of motion, motion. You're going to increase kinetic activity. And you're also going to put a hotel on the back side, and on the front side of Hollywood Studios, you're going to put a parking garage to add to valuable land that's on the east side. Sorry, I had to position myself to think where it was, on the east side, so that you could actually build attractions. Disney is devoid of attractions, disgustingly so, and they don't get called out for it. Toy Story Land should have also spilled into Pixar, and that one corner that got built out with other stuff, instead of rotating it 12 degrees as they were going to do originally, and then connect immediately to Star Tours, and the exit for Star Tours would have exited into uh, something better than Black Rock Spire, or what do they call that place? Doku? I don't know. No, that's a guy. What's it called? It's stupid. It's a dumb name. But everybody's going to call it Star Wars Land. It's just stupid. Anyway, sorry, but that's just one of many. I would not stop. Anything that had woke garbage in it, Pixar, anything would be cut. I would set to work immediately replacing the sequel trilogy with actual Star Wars movies. I would remove agendas left and right. I would replace, I would do all the way down to requiring the theme parks to have medallions on the trash cans instead of stickers. I would create enough differentiation between Disney and Universal that you wanted to visit both. And then I would start on the fifth gate. There you go. That's day one. Day one. Thank you for that question. Let's see. Archer Merchant for another $2. Thank you, my friends. And hypothetical first EA. What if the Saudis buy Netflix? If they had the controlling shares, because that would have to be an amalgam of others. Because I don't think the Saudi fund alone would want to buy Netflix, but I think you would see a shift in content, and I don't think you'd see the Obamas. Hey, Cynthia Cutter, thanks for hanging out. Have a wonderful weekend, dear. We appreciate you. California, Kevman. Hello, how you doing? Look at all these great people. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Barry, the Music Man, is probably looking at this more realistically than I am. Disney's never going to come back. I think it's over. I think Disney's dead. Star Wars is dead. Marvel's almost dead. It will be soon. So yeah, it's going to be sad. Tony Piacente, 7 months a member. Thank you, my friend. He is a Gold Club member. Says, could a conservative CEO be successful with how much Disney is infested with loony liberals? Yeah, first of all, you get rid of HR. And then you go on your own fact finding of who there is woke. And you say goodbye. You say, if you are uncomfortable working in a realistic version of this company, one that would have been acceptable in 1988, 89, 90, 91, 92, then you need to leave now, because you're going to invest yourself in this company as much as we are going to invest in you. And if otherwise, see ya. Yeah, Apex Comics. Spinner Racks. That's right. That was me. I was that kid. Even in the grocery store. Man, Do you know those some of those grocery store comics, man? You'd find a gem. You'd find something you couldn't find in your shop. My shop was 3 miles away. I was not gonna ride my BMX, bicycle 3 miles to get there and 3 miles back. I wasn't gonna do it. That fat man held on to that shop a long time, did a good job with it. Did a good job with it. You guys are on fire. Let me see if I know I need to catch up on some things. Let me actually, you guys are making it hard. I appreciate all the support, guys. You really are making a difference. You're helping out where YouTube is trying not to. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I stopped dropping like tons of videos. I'm like dropping maybe 2 or 3 a week. I want to get back to doing at least one a day, but YouTube does not reward you as a creator for that. Your audience rewards you for interacting with them, like we do all the time, and consistently streaming. I My goal is to always provide you with recent information, which is why maybe YouTube doesn't invest in us anymore. But and also fun. I mean, I want to have fun. I'm here to have fun and provide all the information I possibly can. I I like to do that with you guys. So, thank you. You make it possible. Man, I love all this coffee. You guys did a great job with the stickers. That was fascinating. Um, yeah, so again, thank you to Gory Eyed Beast for that one. But that would be my first day. So you got an extraordinary answer. Uh, and once again, I want to say a big shout out and thank you to uh, William Shakespeare for 5. I'm going to tell you right now, I love this name. It's so good. But thanks for being here even after 20 hours. Just wanted to acknowledge that and say a big shout out and thank you to Just a Dutchie, who's been everywhere this week. It's been phenomenal supporting myself and everybody I seem to be hanging around. So that's great news. A lemon character raising both thumbs. That's right. I love it. There's a lot of style in that, isn't there? Three euros for that. It's amazing. I'm loving you guys. I'm loving it. I'm so lucky. Lucky. Tony Piacente, like I said. Um, the first thing I would do is convert Stories Matter to script quality oversight. That's it's better than my first thought, but I can't even say it out loud because I'd be in trouble. But I'll just say that I they don't you would need people that well okay so there's two different story groups that we talk about. Stories Matter group is the ones that are changing the theme parks. The different other story groups in the studios are the ones that are destroying things. And again, Kathleen Kennedy converted the majority of leadership to ladies, which again, I'm not saying is a bad thing. The problem is they were all agenda driven, man hating people. It's kind of like Julie Taco and the people that destroyed Gillette. By the way, did you know that that was led by an extreme feminist lady? She's the one that destroyed Gillette, costing them over $18 billion in value in just a few months, not to mention over $300 million in the course of 2 quarters in sales. If it weren't for Procter and Gamble, I do believe that Gillette wouldn't exist anymore. I think I've said that a couple of times this week, but it's true. The more you learn about what led to the downfall of these companies, the more it's driven by extremist, man hating, fourth wave feminism people. Not even third wave feminism, fourth. They're way ahead. They're beyond. And they're not even at, we are equal to men. They're at we are men kind of stage. It's bad. It's really, really bad. It's been bad for a while. Oh my goodness, you guys. We're going to be busy the rest of the morning, aren't we? Thank you for the support. Woohoo. Weatherman, who I love today. He's been very generous. We got Tony Piacente, very generous. We got just a Dutchie being generous all week. I can't believe this has been the kind of day where I have to say thank you to Born in Boston. We have just so many great people out there, and you guys really do lift up conversation, and I'm grateful to have it. So Weatherman says companies like Denny, cling on to their past because they haven't made anything of worth for years. You're right. I mean, and that's ditching their nostalgia, dude. In the theme parks, okay, buy Rivers of America, buy Frontierland, buy things that people look back at the past for the comfort. That's like the comfort area of the park, like Main Street, USA as you enter, and Frontierland. And for a lot of people, I think the most important attraction that they go on, if it's not Peter Pan, is Pirates. And they keep screwing that up. That's another thing I would do. I would fix Pirates. You're gonna bring out the redhead. Yeah, I, you know, I'm gonna put what they would call more toxic masculinity back in the park. There's a reason why we look up to people. There's a reason why that we are fond of the bad guys, and it's not for the reason that the Disney people want you to be. Disney people want you to be like thankful for the villain, but they've never created a villain anybody could be thankful for since, well, they got rid of the last of the nine old men. Is that? I mean, seriously. They try to elevate the villain because that's the character they identify with. They know they're the villain. Well, I'm going to do a bad thing for a good reason. That's you don't have to do that. And the thing is that the consequences of doing that is that you end up with nobody identifying with that. And the minute they started to take the live action stuff, they take the animation, turn it into live action stuff, and then they started to drop the message in that, it was over. And that's why one of the many reasons why I think Snow White was doomed from the beginning. It wasn't just Rachel Zegler and her stupidity, her big mouth. And if I were the dude that asked her out for a date, I think she was dating a guy, maybe she still is, I don't know. I'd be looking at some analysis and realizing I'm going to be miserable for about an average of 40 years, which is about as long as a marriage would last with her. Yet I'm going to get nothing out of the deal. And that's the other problem, which is why you're seeing men not enter marriage anymore or long-term relationships. Anyway, that was a lot of conversation for that. Hey, Tony Piacente once again says the first thing I would do is convert stories. Yeah. And I'm glad I clicked on that earlier, but I think my friend, you would have to do even more. But it would be great to have a script quality group. I'm with you. You're 100% right, my friend. 100%, Tony. The most consistent person on the internet in the history of man, Graph Web, for 2 very important Culture Casino tip dollars, says for fish sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Indeed. And while you're at it, cancel Netflix. Thank you, GraphWeb. You are amazing. We got, again, Archer Merchant. Look at you guys go. Archer Merchant is out there with another 5 Culture Casino cash, saying, also, Newsom threatened to withhold billions if colleges sign the president's school content contracts, but those schools he relies on for the message. Indeed. Like you said, if the education system has to come back to reality, to society, to stable civil society, and they have to boot out professors, that it's going to be hard. I'm telling you. And they can't indoctrinate people anymore. Yeah, that would be really bad for Gavin. But I'm going to tell you right now, schools like UC Irvine, Berkeley, all those places that you've heard are liberal, Well, it's 1,000 times worse than you've heard. So getting those schools that need federal dollars to recognize that, pulling endowments and underwriting of other things, I think is important. I think you're going to start seeing that more and more frequently. So the schools he relies on for the message, well, they need to become unreliable for the neo-Marxists and the socialists and communists. In fact, what was that act? Was it 1953? There was an act in place that didn't allow for that kind of stuff to be taught in schools and other places as well. Couldn't even appear in Hollywood filmmaking. Rolling Stone did a story on the fact that there's a group of actors trying to come together to talk about free speech. They're the ones that are always limiting speech. They attack the very people that don't agree with them and have better ideas and better information, a better understanding of what communism, socialism, and Marxism is. And I don't care what you say you are. If you're in New York City and the guy's telling you he's a democratic socialist, that's not good because it always ends up being authoritarian and it always ends up making people starve. And what's the first thing he wants to take over? Grocery stores. He wants to replace grocery stores. It's really dumb. Really, really dumb. So ASCII says the first thing to do with Disney is move corporate headquarters and all production to Florida to get out from under Cali's oppressive empire system. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that was the plan. That was the plan. They were going to move Burbank and everything that was worth keeping with Disney to Lake Nona and other areas in Central Florida. That's where Disney was going. And boy, they got rid of the guy that was planning that, didn't they? The guy I used to affectionately call Cheapskate when he was running parks and experiences. They made the CEO, which made sense. But he wasn't going to align 100% with, Larry Fink, the Fink man. And so that had to be a limited time offer. Did you notice they also got rid of the chairwoman? They must not like strong female leadership, even though she was a lesbian. Susan Arnold, you guys remember her? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Thank you, Dr. Jill. I appreciate you being here. Please make it to your appointment on time. Get to the church on time as well. Man, look at all these things happening. I appreciate you guys. You guys are just killing it today. All right, let's move on. We got SFX of 314 Sabertooth Raptor for another Culture Casino $5. Says, what if Mr. E bought Disney? The meltdown would be massive. Also, frogs are great. I love frogs. Alex Jones loves frogs a lot. He's trying to keep them from, having the water convert them. I always found that amusing because based on populations, amphibians specifically, have the ability to be whatever they need to be. But it's like one of the only few things that can do it. It's very interesting though, based on what's needed. Interesting. Humans aren't like that. You're born the way you are, and you're born at a ratio that seems to work. More ladies than men, because men tend to shorten their lives doing fun things or silly things or stupid things. That's why we came up with the Darwin Awards. But that's probably not kosher these days. Probably get called down for that one. And look at this. We got another Zippy. Zippy. What's up? Zippity dude. Zippy DSM Lee. Okay. Do what you love and enjoy. Fans will do the rest. F the system, for it will devour you. Indeed. Indeed. That's so true. Yeah, I'm working on some stuff. I've been working on some stuff for a while. some of those results, I don't know. Maybe we'll see soon. But yeah. And you know what? Man, this is why this Tony and I are going to connect on Disney forever. Tony Piacente, because this is accurate information. Wait, let me find it. Let me scroll. Here it is. Did you guys notice I was wearing an Imagineering shirt the other day? You probably didn't. Anyway, saying Imagineering staged a revolt against the Lake Nona move. Yep, and it cost them dearly. It would have been beautiful. Would have been beautiful. The housing is way. They would have got so much for bang for their buck when they moved across country. Oh, my kids are in school. Well, they'll be in school in Florida. You know. Anyway, you just relocate your stuff. And by the way, it would have saved them a lot of hassle because everybody's relocating their stuff now. But they would have got massive amounts of money for selling where they were, and they would have got a massive amount of cost of living cut, no state tax, lots of beautiful benefits. But instead, they wanted to stay in California and pay ever rising property taxes, insurance, and everything that's bad with California that was brought into being by Gavin Newsom. I mean, Brown definitely, for the 2 times he showed up there, or I guess was it him and his dad? I forget. Regardless, there were a lot of terrible governors in California. So there's a difference. Mark Daly goes, "This is I love you guys are on point today. I can't even keep up." Mark says, "Elon buying Disney. Um, yes, the meltdown would be massive, but it would be awesome. It would be." And I think he knows that he would need an entertainment creative visionary equal to what he is. I mean, when it comes to money and spending money and all that, he would be tip top. It'd be great if imagine privatizing Disney. Elon's worth 500 billion now and more. Um, and the AI company that's stealing from him to improve their AI, Open Agent, that's not supposed to be a for-profit company. I think that has to stop. Some way that has to get unwound and turned back into a nonprofit because that's what it was. It should not be a for-profit endeavor, and I think they should have to roll it back. But speaking of Elon, I do have a story I want to get into that's tied to that, which is the whole thing I would love to do. Um, Archer Merchant for another generous $2 super chat says, also Imagineering made Epic You. Double whammy. Yeah. I don't think most people know that, but the vast majority of the people that in Imagineering had moved on. Moved on. And the voices out there have been calling out Disney for a while, like Eddie Soto and Tony Baxter, who was silenced. He was silenced on the Splash Mountain disaster. It's the only reason they wanted to pay him for consulting is to shut him up. Jaffo doesn't want Marxists in Florida, so he's glad that Disney didn't move. I don't know. I think you'd had a wholesale change there. Hey, the wild man of Yavin. I'm so glad. Brother, what do you think? Do you think I'm right about 3 weeks of shutdown? You think it'll give them enough time to clear out the vast majority of corrupted agencies? I'm just curious. I mean, looking at it from within or working for a government entity. And again, I was genuinely flabbergasted uh, that some of these essential people, are going to be suffering as much as they could. I just hope it's less than a month. Rogue Thinker's in the house, and so is Generic Brunette. MAGA Kingdom. There you go. Just make one new letter for efficiency. There you go. Commander and Striker Shadow. I think I saw. I did, and I think it said hello to Captain Phantom Nerd. It's good to see you, buddy. Says, ba-da-ba. Oh yeah, Florida, great month year round hurricanes and tornadoes. Oh yeah, Florida, great. Most of the state only 2 to 4 feet above sea level. So, so, so year round Florida. Oh yeah, nah. You have to remember it's central Florida. It's in the middle of the state, and while they may be impacted by hurricanes and stuff like that, like lots of people on the East Coast. Are you saying don't live in any East Coast state? Because like nor'easterns and hurricanes that travel north up the coast, you don't remember those? Kind of flood the terrible infrastructure that hasn't been updated in probably close to 200 years in some parts of the East Coast. I don't know, man. I'm not going to look at it that way, but it's fine. Our good friend, the Wild Man Yavin, answers back. Says, I think to, if I'm honest, beyond the 15th, you think you think 2 weeks. Okay. Beyond the 15th. Once the media starts interviewing the military spouses, it's game over. Okay, but who's going to cave? See, that's the problem. Trump's not going to cave. Right? So, and the Republicans definitely aren't going to cave because they don't want to be hung with the idea that they were outmaneuvered by the Democrats, forcing illegals to get tax paid for health care. The states that offer Medicaid to those illegals need to stay on the hook. And there should be no bailout for people like Gavin Newsom. He wants to pay Medicaid. He's taking it out of the California residents' pockets because it's a 90% rate of reimbursement from the federal government when that kind of thing exists. So no, we're not. They're not going to take that load on. Democrats are going to have to drop that or watch the government become really small. But I don't think the military is going anywhere. Texas 84 says 3 weeks sounds right. We're paid through the 24th. See, I needed that information. All you guys are thank you. Thank you. The more information I'm getting, the deeper the understanding is. And then that's the other thing. I am capable of taking new information, like all the stuff that the Wild Man Yavin told me yesterday. I'm capable of taking that in. And everything that happened on Tuesday. I'm capable of taking that in. I like new information. It helps me reform my opinion. It gives me more tools to approach an analysis with. So there you go. John Dunham says the courts are against the American people. Yeah, they are. That's Soros. That's why it's more important than ever that Soros get the comeuppance he deserves for undermining the United States. With all of his organizations and the NGOs, he was using your tax money through USAID to fund undermining our country. He's he's a lot of things. He's what Antifa became, amongst the fact that he's just essentially just tearing down America. That's his plan. It's why we've got these DAs out there not prosecuting the law. There are whole states being used as dumping sites because they have DAs that aren't charging people with the crime. This is really bad, guys, and we need to point it out, which is why I have infinite clips. That's why I keep asking, should I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do a poll. That's it. I'm going to do a poll. Start a poll. Should I take the new podcast? I can't type. I need a PA producer. Should I take the new podcast? Thank you for your attention to this matter, comma. 5 days a week? Question mark. You guys are going to decide this for real. So instead of just Tuesday and potentially Thursdays, it's just yes and no. It's in the field. You guys go. You're going to decide. You're going to decide. And thank you, John. Tony's like, I'm fleeing the Northeast for Florida. Yeah. Look, a lot of my friends on the East Coast or north of the Carolinas are running south. At the same time, you're seeing huge swaths of red sneak into a lot of eastern strongholds that used to be Democratic strongholds. You're seeing states flip. You're seeing counties in states that were deep blue, now pink going red. This is happening over the course of just a few years. Imagine what happens if they successfully keep the illegal occupants in our country, the invaders that came to our country, if they keep them off the census. Think about how many seats that is. Yeah, it's wild. Hurricanes are 2 weeks of of that. Then the insurance company fixes your house. Uh, the Michigan winter is 8 months of shoveling. Yeah, that does. It sounds like a good deal, Mark. You made a good move, even though I know you love the big blue. Weatherman says the smart thing. VOT is going to start cutting, and the whining will be glorious, dude. Look, I don't have a mug to collect tears in that's designated for that, but I might need one at that point. Um, I'm gonna say it this way: we might find out today who's gone. If you think about it, the between Doge and the effects of the delayed resignations, they've already dropped government by 300,000. I would say there's probably another 300,000 more that they may cut. In fact, there's been conversations around the idea that they would eliminate since the beginning of the Trump era. By the end of this year, they will be able to successfully or could potentially successfully remove a million. I don't think that's possible. I think there are too many um, necessary jobs out there. I really do. I think we may be overestimating how many unnecessary jobs there are, but I guess we'll find out. I still think that the creation of the Department of Education by Jimmy Carter was one of the worst decisions that has ever been made in human history. He may have been a nice man, he may have been a charitable man, but he was an evil man because he drove us into a terrible situation, especially financially. What a terrible, terrible businessman. Mr. DeMark in the house. Good day to you. Texas 84 says, that's our branch, though. Yeah. Oh, well, here's the other thing. Um, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but ICE is funded like for a while, like completely. Like, go get rid of the Marxists, go get rid of the terrorists. I think so. People, may the shutdown live long and the citizens prosper. Yeah, I just don't want people who are in service of the country, the good civil servants. I don't want them to suffer. I don't want people to suffer. I didn't want the government to shut down in the first place, but I wasn't playing politics with people's money because I lost. I lost in a bill that I didn't want because that's what the Democrats are doing. That and Schumer and Jeffries are trying to fend off their super leftist flank. That's what this is. JD Vance said it himself. It's pretty obvious. They're terrified of somebody like AOC. Terrified. Missing Worlds says, lucky to Tony Piacente. I wish I could separate from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. They don't like their population able to leave. Well, neither does Gavin. Gavin's tried to pass multiple laws saying that you would have to pay back the state if you left the state. That doesn't sound communist at all. That didn't sound socialist at all. That didn't sound authoritarian at all, does it? Does it? By the way, everything always ends up being authoritarian. No matter what form of communist socialist government you pick, including democratic, what is it? Democratic socialists, social democrats, whatever the flip they want to call themselves. Democratic socialists. You always end up authoritarian. There's one person center making the deal, and that's that. Thanatos Felicitas. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. The highest point in Florida is something like 60 feet above sea level. Yeah, I don't care. Look, if rich people keep buying beachfront property, how many of you guys are still going to believe that water's rising? Imagery tells you that that's bologna sausage. And if it is a quarter of an inch in like 1,000 years, I don't care. I don't care. Nobody has been able to prove to me that any of this stuff matters because none of the experts can answer any questions when they're asked in Congress or in the Senate floor directly. They don't even know how much CO2 is in the atmosphere. They don't even know that actually we're experiencing a moment of greening of the planet. I don't know if it's 1.7. I kept hearing 1.5 to give to illegals. I think it's only 400 million in the healthcare side of the equation. But if you read through, again, it's up on, you know what? Their counter proposal, they had to file. Nobody in their right mind that's on the right would vote for that at all. It's immediate sign that not only are they Unitarian or they're a rhino. First of all, that would be it. I mean, I'd be out there on my feet, beating the pavement, talking to people about primarying people. Understand? So, but I only think it's 1.5 trillion and 200 or 400 million of that is illegal healthcare. But it goes way beyond that. We don't want all the stuff we got rid of back. We got rid of all that in the big, beautiful bill. And we got rid of Obama freak show garbage in the big, beautiful bill. They don't want that. They want to keep giving their friends in the insurance industry, not your part of the insurance industry, Mark, but money. And they want to keep collecting checks. And I really do believe, and people here in this chat have suggested on one or more occasions that much like what that comedian says, we need like little like patches on their clothing that tells us who sponsors them, because they're not representing their constituency. They're representing lobbyists and themselves. And that's what, what's his name? Shyster and Hell Hefe. That's what those two guys are doing. Schumer's always been a corrupt piece of garbage. He's just worse now. We got Archer Merchant out there saying, I think the Ricos are a long time coming. I think, they just are going to track. So right now there's a lot of financial tracking that's been going on with Soros. And you've got forensic accountants working on this and everything else. They're going to not only be able to build a case, they're going to be able to put him and his son away. I think that's okay. Sabrina's Espresso in the house. Good to see you. And thank you for the lovely recommendation. Share the stream. Man, I'm gonna go get espresso later in the day. Leaf Erickson is in the house. Howdy, everyone. Hi, Leaf. Good to see you. Avarice Carmageddon. Soros is the devil. Well, he's pretty evil. Pretty evil. CC, yes, I love my lions, tigers, and wolverines, but with online and streaming, it's never been easier to be a fan of out of state teams. So true. So true. Is Just a Dutchie out of here? Thank you, Just a Dutchie. Your generosity and your time is valuable, and I appreciate both. You're amazing, and thank you. 40s Mandalorian. Hurricanes are polite tornadoes. They tell you when they'll be here and say, if you don't want to be hurt, leave. Yeah, I know. It's like slow motion tornado. I'm coming to get you. Oh, okay. You might want to leave soon. Oh, okay. Either that or throw a big party, which oftentimes can't tell you hurricane parties. Anyway, Wild Nanny Yavin says, I think the creation of the Department of Energy was a good thing in theory. Then activists took it over. Well, the problem is that then the Department of Energy did not take their mandate and produce nuclear power plants in at least one or two in every state. They should have. Had that happened, we wouldn't be having an energy conversation. They couldn't sell energy garbage to us here in the States. I mean, they can't sell energy garbage to the people of Norway, and yet they keep forcing crap in over there because they have an energy surplus, the likes of which we can't even understand. They sell it to everybody. I've heard Andre talk about that at length. We got our friend Archer Merchant again. What? Dude, did you hit the lottery? The heck? Archer says, for another $2. Also, don't get me started on political speaker fees. Oh, I know. I think it should be criminal for news agencies to be allowed to sell political hack books like they did with Kamala. They had a over on Disney on a program that they try to say is news called The View, which is complete garbage. They had a little, what do you call them, QR code on the screen for people to get Kamala Lala Ding Dong's book. And I think they had it on other news channels as well. You going to give equal access to everybody? Does that mean anybody who's a former political candidate and writes a book is going to get time on all those programs? They better. They better. And thank you for that, Archer. Zippy says DOE should not have been so bad. If it did not enforce guidelines, a difference in suggestions and making them mandatory. Well, I think giving people who are unelected bureaucrats a level of power over an agency needs to come with the weight of responsibility. And I don't think it was ever taken that seriously. And I don't think there was enough elbow in the back, for them to do the right thing. And again, right now in every state in this union, we should be building nuclear plants. We should. It would immediately change the way electrical rates were operating or happening. And I don't think, and this is going to be fun, I don't think if you are operating a nuclear plant, you should be allowed to sell that power outside of your state. I also think if you're going to force people into green energy ideas like solar, I think that you should have to reimburse the people who put solar on their house at the retail rate. And I don't think you should be allowed to charge a grid connection tie fee. I think you should not be allowed to have a minimum billing for anybody connected to the grid. And I think all of that should be law. I think it should be I think that should be in law in every state. And I don't think a legislature should be allowed to push any of that stuff without those types of things. If you are going to force the public to try to find alternate means of power because you're allowing for companies, oftentimes, even the nonprofits are overcharging for power because the grid hasn't changed significantly in a very long time. And when it does, those are one-time expenses that just need maintenance. You don't need to employ new people to do maintenance, at least not yet. So ask yourself a question. What are you paying for when you pay for electric? What are you paying for when you pay for water? What are you paying for when you pay for sewer or garbage or recycling? And are you getting what you pay for? You're probably paying too much. It's a good thought, though. Thank you, Real Wade Nation. Check out Real Wade Nation gaming clips and Real Wade Nation Gaming. He's a really good dude and he's growing, and I'm very proud of him. So Texas 84 says, we will stay at work after the 24th if still in the shutdown. Yeah, a lot of people, especially if you're essential, right? And I think, like you said, I mean, as soon as the year ends, the actual year, we get into 2026, the funding for the ACA and other garbage that they're trying to force back in with this shutdown, it's dead. They're trying to do a magic trick. This is a Houdini act. But everybody knows, even the lying CNNs out there know that this is that way. It's insane. They're lying for Democrats, which tells you just how partisan biased they are. Legacy media is garbage, and they're disappearing quickly because the American public's tired of it. The Communist News Network, and I'm going to go back to calling them that, has never been more biased or corrupt. This would, if you want to get rid of something awful, if you're Warner Brothers, get rid of CNN, sell them off, see if somebody will pay you for them. Wouldn't it be glorious if Elon bought CNN? That's a different conversation. And you can't get any arguments from anybody on the other side, or you can point out the half a dozen newspapers of merit that are owned by other billionaires. I'm sorry. Wouldn't that be glorious? Wouldn't it be glorious if Elon bought Warner Brothers? He's got that in his couch cushions. Hey, I got 500 billion. I could afford Warner Brothers. I should buy Warner Brothers. Tobak, happy Friday to you, my friend. I hope your weekend is glorious. Texas 84 says Exhibition Everest is 200 feet. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a eyesore in that new Zootopia garbage or whatever it's called over there. Tony Piacenti says, if water levels are rising, it's not that hard to build a wall. True story. I mean, we have seawalls already for when we have inclement weather. So there's that. Yeah, 200 billions to illegals, says the Dems. It's. I think it's more than that, though. Ultimately, between everything, all the stuff they're trying to bring back, it's going to be more than that. And I do believe it's somewhere between that 1.5 billion and 1.7 trillion. So, like I said, I'm not going to say anybody's wrong. I just know that's a lot of friggin' money. The highest elevation in Florida is Britton Hill. Thank you, Richard James. Richard James says, yeah, which stands at 345 feet above sea level. Yeah. Yeah. How about that salt mound that Splash Mountain converted into failed princess movie? Princess and the Frog, which a lot of people like. Look, no shade on the creation. Is well done. 2D animation. It was supposed to bring back 2D animation, but it wasn't successful enough at the time. And because not a lot of people went to see it. It was the 33rd most popular blockbuster of the year. And adjusted for inflation, it wasn't really a blockbuster. So why is there an attraction based on it? I don't know. Dude Bro Seth, good to see you. Good morning. Rogue, come on now. The ppm of CO2 is easy to find, and the historical numbers, don't be disingenuous. I'm not being disingenuous. You clearly, did you watch the testimony that was being given by the supposed experts that were there to comment on it? I'm not being disingenuous. It's ridiculous. Um, let's see. Um, it's somewhere between 424 and 425 parts per million. What's that as a percentage of the atmosphere? And wasn't it higher in the past when there was still life on Earth? And again, the new measuring equipment's going to be interesting when used, but yeah, we're headed into a greener planet. The science on that is we're headed to a greener planet. And the reason that it's as high as it is, and you can accept this science or not, but it's because of all the volcanic activity that we've had. Because you have to remember, if you have a volcano, let's say use Mount St. Helens as a measure for that activity when it was live volcano, um, that released enough CO2 greenhouse gases um, to replace the entirety of humanity's production of that. So I don't agree with anthropogenic production having any significant effect. And again, if you just look at the volcanic activity, and I think that'll explain why it's risen. So, and at the same time, you have to consider the U.S. has made such a significant change in energy and how it's produced and all of that. How has it really impacted anything? Not if it's gone up. I think we want to take a really good look at how we calculate where CO2 gases come from and how they operate cyclically as the planet does as well. I'm just curious if we can do that. And again, I'm not being disingenuous. This is you just take a look at what it was and again, the fact that the so-called experts were so ignorant to it. Weatherman says NOAA has said ocean level have raised 14 inches in the last 10 years. Okay, show me that. Seriously, show me that. Show me the missing land or high water marks on landmarks that are in the ocean. Show me that. That's right, Tony. Bring back the hurricane cakes. That's right. That's right. I also have some concerns with how we monkey with the weather, which they finally admitted, especially with the trailing and everything else. And yes, contrailing can come naturally from planes because of a natural effect, but if they're actively releasing gases from planes, it's pretty obvious and has been for a long time. And you can tell me silver nitrate is likely not as harmful as you would think. It's very interesting, though. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff. There's going to be an area where we're not going to agree, and it's not productive because I like all of you guys. So even if we disagree, it's really important that we we not dive into dumb things. Right now, we're dealing with a different thing, which is the shutdown. Doesn't change the fact that if you want to get rid of greenhouse gases, that we should be having multiple nuclear plants per state. That I don't think you can argue that. Archer Merchant for another amazing gifty of $2 says, also don't get me started on political speaker fees. No, 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 no. Let's see. In a sense, Disney is paying me thousands after the Measure L approval finally. Even got interview. Fun times. That's awesome, Archer. Good to hear. Good to hear. For your sake, then, I hope Disney can turn it around. You guys are on fire today. I really appreciate it. Spirian's out there. What's up, brother? He just gifted a membership. Thank you, man. Uh, Morgan King says, all Culture Casino, for solar power, um, the owner of the panel should be able to set the price that they sell to the grid. You know what? I think that's not a bad plan. Look, if you want to sell at a discount, go ahead. I mean, if you produce an abundance of power more than what you consume and you're willing to sell it on a grid tie system, yeah, I'm with you 100%. You know, some people actually cycle their Tesla as a power wall. I didn't know that. I thought that was an interesting thing. Zen Wookie is fighting back, which is good. Elon would lose major bucks on CNN, but it would be a good tax write-off. Yeah, maybe. I mean, actually, if he buys all of Warner Brothers, he can fix all the gun issues because gun is now an autonomous entity. Did you guys watch my video yesterday? So we talked about the fact that gun is autonomous over at DC. There's nobody that oversees him. He's his own oversight, which means Zaslav has abdicated responsibility of DC. It's going to live or die on its own. And if Gunn drives it into the ground, it's in the ground. It's not coming back. And that's why this lackluster performance of Superman is a bad sign for DC. Supergirl's not going to get the same kind of interest. And they had to rush into production, or at least rush for the possibility of production of the sequel with Lex Luthor in a team up movie. You have you understand the direction that he's taking DC with Peacemaker and Creature Commandos, and it's not a good place, and it's certainly not going to be family friendly. Thank you. Keep it real. Have a great day, man. I am running long today. You guys are keeping me inspired to talk. Let's see. Zippy, I love this. Says that Wild Manny Yavin. It's all dependent on location, space, and how much power you use. Had a friend, he lived in a cave, had a steam turbine, solar power, 12-volt batteries. Used a log fire when it got really cold. And a lot of people I know that are on green homesteads, quote unquote green homestead, um, they're oftentimes more reliant on perhaps even burning propane to fire a generator to do all the other stuff. Still cheaper than electric. The electric company is robbing us all. Oh, here's something I didn't know. Texas 84 says salt domes are underground. Okay. Especially in Louisiana, right? Isn't that wild? Asky says I have plans for my own personal power setup at the house. Yeah. So when I found, well, first of all, when I get the land for the house and everything that's going to kind of make it sustainable, I'll be living an actual sustainable life. That's my plan. Adjacent to that, on the same land, will be the film and television studios, which again will also be as green as possible and as self sustaining as anything can be. So I will have to use a variety of different ways to provide power, and I'll have to use a lot of power saving equipment that may have a slight difference in cost. But I'm going to tell you something now. Ever since I converted this entire property to LED, with the exception of 4 light bulbs. I haven't. If anything, I've seen my power go nothing but up. There's been no advantage. So when I get to the new place where I don't have to pay for power, and I don't even know if I will pay for a grid tie, because I don't want a minimum charge, because it's bologna sausage. But I'm tired of paying entities that are just there to gouge you and shouldn't be. Utilities need to be controlled, and corporation commissions oftentimes are corrupt. And I'm tired of it. Just tired of it. Hey, Christopher White in the house says, "Hola, brah." Thank you, and hello to you, my friend. Mahalo for joining us. All right, we got a weatherman here again. Look at that. And I just saw C&D. Did I not? I did. I got to get to that. NOAA has said ocean level have raised 14 inches, and the rise is probably from glacier melt, which are already starting to regrow. Yeah, I know. I saw that I saw that the ocean ice increase was a record as well. So yeah, I'm not going to buy it. It's fine. And see, here's the other thing: low spec Linux laptop. Somebody that has my same mindset is to be very green and produce my own power and everything else. Look, I'm going to tell you, low spec Linux gaming, great guy, whether he's on his main channel or on the gaming channel or whatever. He's got the same mindset that I do. So CO2. See, this is why people think, well, so you're anti-green? No, I'm just like, I'm not going to pretend that there's some kind of climate emergency. Anyway, CO2 has been going up and down with temperatures way before humans. Our sun controls our climate, not us. Yes, I agree with that. Wait a second. I actually believe this is true. We've been wrecking our soil. We need to fix it. I'm with you. And when did all of a sudden plants become a problem? Why do they want to clear forests and other things? That doesn't make sense. You know? And why are we tolerating some of these South American governments allowing for the elimination of rainforests and things like that? They were supposed to stop that. We spent a lot of money to get them to stop. They're right back to it. Interesting though. Soil health. I have to look that up. The amazing Chef Eddie is here with Little Chef. Says all the environmental issues were solved in Highlander 2. He fixed the ozone layer, and now no one ever talks about it anymore. Well, dang it, we need Highlander 2 again. They're making Highlander 1 if Henry Cavill can stop hurting himself. Anyway, I got to get to these supers. You guys are on fire. Generic Brunette says Obama doesn't even believe his science rhetoric, or he wouldn't have put a house on the ocean. I know. You know what? And up until recently, one set of my parents were looking to buy a beach house in Southern California. You gonna buy a beach house if you're worried about rising tides? I mean, I know they lift all boats, but ooh, see, I worked it in. I worked in a joke. Let's see, what do we got? Spirian, like I said, thank you, Spirian. That actually gave Chef Eddie a thing. We got Ruby Hoove gifting a Culture Casino membership. Thank you, Ruby Hoove. You are amazing. And I think we're going to go long on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I think I can do it. Lots of people move their shows around, so it gives me room, I think. I want to say thank you to C&D Designs. They ruined my childhood favorite, CC. I agree with you. I support the Rippaverse now, of course. And Jay, me too. You know that. Jay's my friend. I mean, like actual friend. Like I call up and I talk to Jay, just like Jonas and Pro. And I mean, I talk to people on. I talked to Vash a couple times this week already. But I talk to people. And it's weird. And I'm going to tell you something. You guys, for what it's worth, your paramutual relationship, especially in like the fellowship and a lot of the people that are part of what some people would say a community. I try to shy away from that word because the neo-Marxists and the uber lefties have kind of stolen that word from us. But these para social relationships can actually become a real thing, and they often do. And especially I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be at MegaCon this year. I'm going to be at least one or two of the Texas things, and I'm definitely going to be in Vegas. So there are going to be at least 4 events that I'll be at, and then I'm going to be at some private meetups here soon, talking to people about stuff and things and how we move forward as a group and get stronger. And I like it. And you're going to start seeing the results of everybody working together to get stronger in the very near future. And I'm super excited. Anyway, I just want to say thank you, C&D Designs, for the $5, and I'm with you. I'm supporting everybody. Um, P.S. I'm highly intrigued by the Tesla Powerwall. Well, okay, there's one called, and I hate to say this and recommend something that's Chinese, but the Zhejiang uh, uh, power. I don't know what to call it. Block. I mean, it's basically a replacement for a server rack battery, but with that and a properly scaled hybrid inverter or combination inverter, uh, you get a couple of those and a couple of those inverters. You don't need a power company anymore if you have enough solar panels. Right now, to power the future house, I'm going to need a lot of kilowatt hours. Um, so I'm going to have somewhere around 40 to 44 solar panels, somewhere between the 320 watt and the 440 watt solar panels that I've been researching. So the idea of being able to do that. Now, the other way you can use battery energy efficiently is that you take the energy when it's its cheapest. So you set up a timer for your inverter to charge a battery from the grid. So usually power's cheaper in the evening hours after the sun's gone down and it's cooler and air conditioners aren't running like crazy. The power bill will drop for that period of time. That's when you kick on the charger and you fire the battery charger. I mean, a lot of people do that. So it's another thing out there to do. So good stuff. Anyway, um, so I'm very intrigued by battery setups. I'm very intrigued. I was intrigued by the Powerwall, but then I realized that I can get more bang for my buck from a different system. And then if you're going to grid tie it and integrate it into your normal power solution, um, you need an interlock device. They even make some automatic interlock devices that'll switch back and forth between the grid power and the battery power. And if you get one of those interlocks, that's going to add to the cost. But if you can, if you can manually switch it with a manual interlock, you're even better off. So it's a different conversation. Certainly talk about it sometime. Not really what the channel's about, but I like talking about solar. Again, I'm not saying I don't like green energy. Don't misunderstand me. It's whether or not I think it's a crisis, and I don't. We got Texas 84 back again with another thing. Says, thanks for getting me to lunchtime. LOL. You bet. And thank you for the $5. That's going to buy me 1/9 of my lunch. It's so funny. It's like the average price if you go to, a place to eat is about $45 for a person. That's insane. You realize in Quartering was talking about this yesterday in one of his videos. Um, if you go through somebody like DoorDash, um, your McDonald's can cost at least like up to $90 or more easily. Why? First of all, get off your booty and go to the store because it's going to be much cheaper to make something yourself. It's probably going to be better for you. But if you have to go to McDonald's, getting off your butt and getting in the car and going and do it, at least get you to walk a little bit. You might burn 25 calories. You don't know. And then you're going to eat all that bleh, and 100% beef with filler. Yeah, I don't believe McDonald's or anybody else who makes that claim anymore, but that's just me. I will say Chef Eddie gifted a Culture Casino membership. Thank you, Chef Eddie. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness, it's been a day. You guys have been on fire. We got through everything. Weatherman heats with propane. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody who learned how to drive an RV at 15 and 9 months, and then had to drive one for family for many multiple summer, you know, adventures. Um, First of all, one of the great vehicles I learned on, I learned to drive on a stick. I learned to drive on an RV. I learned to drive a tree shifter pickup. I learned a lot of things when I was young. Kids aren't doing that now. Kids aren't learning anything. Kids are terrified of driving. I don't know where that came from, and I don't know why I'm mentioning it now, but it's pretty wild stuff. So anyway, but again, thank you guys today. It was your incredible generosity is always like overwhelming. So I just want to say thank you for that. But we probably should shut it down. We've been going for a while, I think. Whew. Yeah, I've been going for a while, and I got to work with a great creator today and do some stuff. So I'm gonna get to that. So let me just say to all of you and all of the people who make these streams great and make my fellow creators great. You're appreciated. You are not overlooked. You're not taken for granted. And I will ask you just a little bit of grace for sometimes when a creator doesn't get to your super chat, that misses it, or it's sent at the last possible moment. Because the majority of us are conscientious enough to go back in time and fix it. And I'll just say that I really appreciate um, the kindness and the grace that Weatherman and many of the others of you have given me over the years. But again, it's because we appreciate you so much, and I'm always amazed when my friends are doing so well. I mean, I watch Shay every morning. I know I'm a lurker. And I'm not asking for any lurker tax or anything, despite the fact that I mentioned it one day in jest, and John Coleman did that for me. And I also want you to know that we are aware of when you're not here, and we miss you, and we get worried. And there are a couple people I think are no longer with me anymore, and that bothers me. Um, so just so you know, everybody loves you guys. The Wild Nanny Yavin looks like the last super of the day says, heading out to the grocery store, roasting. Oh, that sounds so good. Roasting a chicken tonight. And starting the process for short ribs. Yeah. You're invited if you're in Maryland. You know what? I love to tour the Civil War battlegrounds and stuff. And I've been Maryland and Pennsylvania. And I mean, I've been to Gettysburg. I drive. I rent a car if I have to fly, but I drive to all those places. They're so fascinating to me. The history is so incredible. And anyway, back to it. So if you're curious if we watch each other, we do. And you'll if you look at participants in chat, you might see my name there sometimes. Plus, if you type my name, if you type at Culture Casino in a chat and it highlights, then that person's there. Just so you know. So if you ever wonder if Gary's lurking or comics is lurking someplace, that's all you have to do. So speaking of lurker tax, there's my good friend right at the end. Last call with Troy Pacelli. Um, Lurker tax. Thank you, brother. I love that Epic Mike came up with that. I think he's so brilliant. Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swift. Is that you, Matt G? Did you change your name, Matt G? Matt G. Thanks for being here. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. I will be back tomorrow morning, and and for those of you who are members, you're going to see a private community notification. If you turn on all notifications, it'll be on YouTube in the bell. The bell will have a red number that pops up, and that lets you know you've got a message. And you go through there, and it'll highlight that, and you can click on it, and you'll know how, what time and everything that tomorrow's stream will start. Tomorrow we'll have the Saturday news update, which will only be an hour long because we'll go right into our member stream, and then immediately after that, the member stream and tomorrow's Saturday news update will both redirect over to Salty Nerd Podcast if they're live. Otherwise, I'll find somebody else that I consider of quality, because I want you to have quality. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much, everybody. Seriously, it's been a great week. It's been a great month, but we still we got to get to 1,000 members, guys. We got 3 weeks left, and that would be amazing. I'd be back where I was as a new creator, and I'll work very hard to keep all of you. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for indulging me. And I hope you indulge others as well. So on that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. And until next time, well, AOAO, AOAO.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.